Hi, my name's Meg and I live and travel in my converted school bus Mo. I'm currently in Mexico and it has been a wild ride so far. So if you want to know what the realities are of living and traveling in a 28-foot schoolie through Mexico, you're in the right place. Welcome. I love this lifestyle for so many reasons, but it's also super difficult at times. For instance, the other day when I was driving through a remote area of San Luis Potosí, Mo lost power and would not turn on. Okay, that is not good. Not good. Okay, so I have no power, I've stalled and I'm just cruising down in neutral. Luckily, I made it to the front of the Agua Purificada where we were headed to, and the family who owns it was super lovely and helpful. Okay, so the lady at the Agua Purificada has just called a mechanic, so we'll see how that goes.
Él trabaja en Houston.
Ah, Houston.
Houston, Texas. Sí.
With no luck getting Mo started, they organised a tow-mo inside their property to get me off the street.
¡Hey! ¡Hey! ¡El espejo, güey! ¡Estoy diciendo, güey!
¡Ole! ¡Qué buen trabajo! Super lucky that the people out the front of that we were out the front of the Agua Purificada that we visited before, and that they're letting us just stay here until the mechanics come in the morning. Hola. Yeah. I've been aiming to share a vlog of this crazy adventure every week, but before I get back into it, I just wanted to introduce myself properly and share a bit of my story and all the events and decisions that got me this far. In case you can't tell, I'm Australian, and after getting inspired by a schoolie my mum showed me on Instagram, I was set to making that a reality. So I moved to Canada in 2017 with my partner at the time to buy and convert an old school bus, after doing a ski season, of course.
Whoa.
And I've definitely improved since then.
That was sick. That was awesome.
It took us about 9 months in between working part-time to complete the conversion. This is our bit that we've got set up to work under. And I say complete using air quotes because I don't think it will ever fully be done, and it certainly wasn't ready when we moved in. We mainly lived in Mo in Sun Peaks, where we were working at the time and trying to get our permanent residency so we'd have more time to actually use the bus for its intended purpose of travel. The exception was an amazing month-long trip up to Yukon and Alaska with our friends Tom and Jill. Not long after that, about a year after living in Mo together, my partner and I split up at the end of 2019. He moved back to Australia and I stayed in Canada. After a bit of a bus life hiatus, when I had a broken leg, wrist, and throughout the pandemic, I moved back into Mo in 2021 after the encouragement and support of my friends, and spent 2 summers parked in a vineyard in the Okanagan. So welcoming. We'll pass all these new little baby grapes coming up. There, I enjoyed watching the grapes grow and continued working towards getting my Canadian residency. Oh God. At least I'm in a nice spot. But when that fell through and I couldn't work legally, I had to leave the country. I wasn't ready to give up Mo and bus life, so a friend suggested I drive to Baja to meet him there. Winter had arrived and I had a bit of money saved, so I figured if I could get to Baja, live cheaply, and buy myself some time, I could figure out a way to make remote work happen. So I went for it. But 5 days into my trip, Mo broke down in the middle of Nevada, an hour from the closest town. So I hitchhiked to Alamo and spent a week at the Alamo Inn waiting for a tow truck. week later, finally getting towed. Then I spent another week in their car park waiting for a mechanic. Shout out to Vern, Sammy, and all the amazing staff there. Do you hear that? Mo is running. So hopefully I'll be back on the road tomorrow. Low power. I can only do roughly 50, 55 k's an hour, and when I go into lower gears and try to stop, I lose all power. After one more scare where Mo stopped and wouldn't start, I ended up limping him to a truck stop just outside of Vegas, which became my new home for 2 months. Feeling pretty defeated right now. Starting to feel like I am never gonna leave this place. I was lucky enough to meet Jimmy, who even loaned me his sweet and crazy little pup figgy. So at least I had some dog love and entertainment whilst I waited for news. Silly, I still got it. The mechanic was meant to come today, but he just called and said that he's trying to find the diagram for the engine, couldn't find it, couldn't find the right one for the wiring, and he just doesn't really know what to do without that. So he said he can't do anything further essentially unless I find this diagram. So I don't know my next step. So it is happening. Getting a tow to international. While Mo was in the mechanics, I flew to Mexico because my US tourist visa was expiring. I found some cheap accommodation at Nomad's Party Hostel, which thankfully was relatively tame. I got a bed in a 10-person dorm for $18 a night, where I hid out in my little nook applying for every remote job I could find and binging Netflix to avoid spending money. So I had a pretty rough, shitty day for a lot of reasons. But just went out, get some food. There's like a carnival happening and stuff. So I had some really good street food. And watched some cool performances. So feeling much better and happy that I'm here. I did make it to the beach and out for free drinks on ladies' night, so it wasn't all bad. Mechanics in Vegas said that it needs a new ECM. After that news, I gave the go-ahead, flew back to Vegas because they said Mo would be ready. That they got the new ECM last Thursday. It took them till yesterday to actually install it. Apparently the harness is damaged, so they think I need a new one, but because it's so old they don't make it anymore, so they're trying to source it. For the moment, I'm in a hostel in Vegas for like $50 a night. Still have no idea how long it's going to be until Mo is ready. What it really comes down to, unfortunately, is that I've not had luck finding remote work, so I don't have a job at the moment, and I don't have the money for this, but I don't know what I'm meant to do in this situation. I don't know how to. Bus won't move. Got all my shit. Like I don't know how to get myself out of this jam. I ended up renting a room in Vegas for a month with my own bathroom, a gym, pool, hot tub, because somehow that was more affordable than the hostel. Then I lined up some house sitting gigs. This is Olive. This is Ava. Aggie. This is Jimmy. Hi, Victor. Hey, Sarah. Hey. Hi. Hey, cuties. I finally found some remote work, but another 3 months passed with Mo not fixed. Again, my US visa was expiring, so I flew back to Mexico. This time it was a little less stressful because I finally had some income, plus I got to meet up with my friend from Canada, Brad, to do some fun touristy things.
It's happened. Mo
is fixed. Nearly 8 months after I broke down. Now I just need to figure out how to pay the mechanic's bill, which is over $7,000, which I do not have. So the plan is to just lay low in Mexico, live cheaply, save quickly, and make payments. I don't know when I'll actually get Mo back, but he's fixed. Once Brad left, I did some more house sitting in Mexico with lovely Penny here. Raining Penny. I planned to keep house sitting in Mexico until there was a surprise turn of events. I am back in Las Vegas. I am house sitting these lovely pups and the kitty cats that are around. Because I've house sat here before, and Brenna, who I'm house sitting for, made me a proposal that if I came back from Mexico to house sit for her for these 10 days, that she would pay my mechanic bill for Mo. I am super, super grateful for her generosity, and it means I'm getting Mo back at the end of the month, so super freaking excited. So I made the most out of the rest of the time I had in Vegas, doing the touristy and not so touristy things, plus a surprise skydive from Jimmy for my birthday, which, in case you can't tell, was amazing. And when I got Mo back, Brenna let me park him in her backyard so I could save a bit of money before heading off. Trying to do work, but I have a visitor. It's like, pet me, pet me. I spent a few weeks working and saving with these guys' company. Then it was time for a test trip. Weekend trip, yay! Jimmy finally got to see Mo in action and experience the fun parts of bus life for a final weekend together at this amazing camp spot. Mo made it there and back with no issues, so it was finally time to leave Vegas. Good news! We're in Arizona on the way to Mexico, finally. Change of plans, because not going to Baja anymore, and also with Will, who I met in Mexico. And he came to Vegas to meet me. We're going to road trip down to Mexico together. So day one. I'm back in Vegas. Needless to say, day one of the trip did not go great. Mo is good. Mo's fine. But the short of it is that Will regretted his decision, and I dropped him back to his dad's in Vegas just now, and I guess I will be doing the rest of this solo, and I guess I'll be going to Baja, I think. Yeah. Being dumped less than 24 hours into a road trip you've been looking forward to for months by someone you've been looking forward to seeing for months is pretty brutal, especially when it upends all of your plans and you have to be out of the country by Monday. But here I am. I am out of Vegas, kind of, just on this dry creek bed at this beautiful sunset. I'm gonna head down to Baja by myself. That's the plan. It's disappointing, but it is what it is. I wish Will all the best, and upwards and onwards. The next day, I drove toward the Mexicali border with only a couple of overnight stops to make it before my visa expired. Parking spot. Hot Springs. Not bad. Then I crossed into Baja. So, I made it. Now I'm driving to San Felipe. Oh, I'm here. I spent a week by myself just outside San Felipe, then headed to Campo Archelon in Bahia de Los Angeles, where I was originally supposed to meet my friend Rick back in November 2022, who was the one who suggested I drive to Baja. Of course, he had already been and gone back to Canada, but I still went anyway and spent another week parked here. It was also kind of serendipitous because this is where I met Mac, who was traveling from Canada to Argentina on his motorbike. We were going in the same direction the following day, so we traveled together for 3 days until Mo had more mechanical issues. But at least this time I was able to drive to a mechanic. Mac decided to wait with me, so I borrowed the mechanic's helmet and jumped on the back of his bike to head to El Coyote, where we camped on the most beautiful beach and made the most out of the situation while we waited for Mo to be fixed. A couple of days later, Mo was ready and I took him back to that same beach. We travelled together for another week until we made it to La Paz, where Mac was scheduled to take the ferry to Mazatlan.
Mac just left to catch his ferry over to Mazatlan to continue his trip through inland Mexico and all the way down to Argentina. A bit bittersweet because had a really awesome couple of weeks with him. Yes, that's kind of being a nomad, and you know, you need a lot of people that are in and out of your life. Traveling around by yourself. Really happy for him. He's gonna have an amazing time. I'm excited to see how his trip goes. And I'm just gonna chill here on the beach, I think, for a little bit and work and try and save a little money. And then who knows? Mac was messaging me yesterday and I spoke to him this morning, and after a 13-hour ferry ride to Mazatlan, he decided that it didn't feel right, so he is coming back. No real plan besides from they're just gonna continue to travel together for a bit longer and see what happens, see how things go. We should be back tomorrow morning, so back-to-back ferry rides, as my friend Pablo so aptly named him, the boomerang ferryman. Needless to say, things went well, and after 5 months in Baja and a border run for a new visa on the back of Mac's bike, I ended up putting Mo on the ferry to Topolobampo. I've now been traveling in Mo through Mexico for the last year with Mac riding his motorbike in tow. That is when Mo is not in the mechanics or broken down. Balancing breakdowns, work, travel, adventure, and all that on the road in a foreign country isn't always easy, especially after I was diagnosed with ADHD last year. I just want to cry right now. I'm so freaking frustrated and annoyed with this. But I do my best to be transparent because I think it's really important to share the challenges alongside all the awesome adventures, because that's what makes it all so rewarding in the end. Man, this is so beautiful. As of now, I've spent about 7 weeks over Christmas and New Year's here at the Agua Purificada in a broken down bus, trying to figure out the cause of the problem and find a solution. Crazy! Well, that is that. Mac has left to head to Mexico City to get his flight in a few days back to Canada for Christmas. And looks like this is where I'll be spending my Christmas, Navidad. But yeah, we just had breakfast with Laruro and his daughter, and I'm very, very grateful to be here. So yeah, crazy times. The mechanic came like yesterday afternoon briefly, but I need a couple of new O-rings, so he took the part to get the O-rings. I mean, it's just gonna take how long it's gonna take. It'd be better if I could bring the bus to the mechanics, to the shop, but I can't, so I've been meaning to do this, to do like yoga for days, but it's just been a bit hard getting motivation. I get caught up
doing what I'm doing with work or whatever, or being lazy. Like I did a bunch of work on Christmas because yeah, I don't know, I guess like subconsciously I wanted to like distract myself from being by myself, but I've just been feeling a bit flat and like I should be working. If I'm not working, I should be doing other stuff, or then I get overwhelmed and then I just feel like doing nothing. So one day at a time, but it's what it is. I'm just trying to work a lot so I can like afford the bill. Back to it I guess. So if you've ever wondered what it's like to trade stability for life on the road, or if you've dreamed about taking an adventure like this for yourself and want an honest look into bus life in Mexico, hit subscribe and join me as I catch up on all the stories I've been wanting to share that will fill in all the gaps from my last vlog until now. Starting next week with a new vlog where we explore more of Durango and check out John Wayne Canyon. As always, thank you so much everyone for all your support and encouragement.
Meg just doesn't give a fuck. Like, she wants to go somewhere, she's gonna go there. Doesn't matter how stressful it is.